Oh, hey. What the hell you doing? What are you doing here? What the hell are you doing in my house anyway? Since I already got you guys here, I've been meaning to say this. Now, I know you guys think these color codes on these bands are arbitrary, but believe it or not, these are equivalent to a certain amount of weight. For instance, this is equivalent to 50 pounds. Most companies will not print it. Some companies do, like this company, I can't remember the name of them, but they don't have it printed on their band, on their label. However, if you look at this company, which is called Lift something, I'll find the name later. They have it printed on their label, which is 50 pounds. So on and so forth. So black is usually 50. If you have olive green, that's usually 40 pounds. If you have 40 pounds. Now, if you have red, which most bags do, most company goes have, that's 30 pounds. If you have 30 pounds. Now, yellow or dark blue, that's usually 10 pounds. Now, the reason I'm listing these out is because some of you guys probably got resistance bands and the company didn't put the amount of weight that's equivalent to on the band. So if you have a dark blue or a yellow, that's usually equivalent to 10 pounds. And green is usually equivalent to 20 pounds. Now, if you remember, I said intensity sets the table, and like intensity arguably is probably the most important component in your training program and everything. So intensity allows you to do workout with less time versus a person who's using less intensity and so would have to work out longer. Hence the reason why cardio like HIIT or HERT tends to be superior to LISS, low intensity steady state cardio. Now, to expound on this, if you do 3 reps of your 1 rep max, say, let's say I'm using the black, and I'm only able to do 3 reps. That means my intensity is 90% of my 1 rep max. What that means is 90% of the amount of weight that I can only do 1 time. If I'm able to do just 5 reps with this, that's 85% of my 1 rep max. Again, that means the amount of weight I'm able to do only once, and I can't do it anymore. But I've stopped. If I'm able to do 12 or 15 reps with this, that's equivalent to around 70 to 65% of my 1 rep max. Why does this matter? Well, if I'm using this for my workout, and I'm doing bicep curls, all muscle fibers of my biceps are not going to be fully activated until I hit the 12th rep. And then the last 3 reps, 12, 13, 14, and 15, then that's when 100% of my muscle fibers will be fully activated, will be fully in use. However, if I'm using something like 85% of my 1 rep max, that means all my muscle fibers on that muscle group are activated from the first rep. Hence why a higher intensity, but not too high, it tends to be superior to a lower intensity load. Now, I said not too high because if once you cross 85, then you pretty much you're using all your muscle fibers, and now you go into a category called rate coded, which means how much impulse, like how much signal, how fast the signal your brain is sending electrical impulse to the muscle fiber that's working, because you have actually used up all your muscle fibers. Now, only way your body can produce more force is to make your muscle fiber twitch faster by sending electrical impulse faster and faster and faster. The caveat is, if you're an endurance athlete, you're going to be doing a higher rep than most people. If you're endurance, and that's because over time, if you've been like doing a lot of endurance type activities like marathons or what have you, then most of your type 2 muscle fiber is going to be converted into type 1. So hence, where you see studies where they're testing percentage of the 1 rep max and what have you, and endurance athletes are going to do more reps at a moderate intensity type of load, like 70% of your 1 rep max, for instance, or what have you. Now, when it comes to women, now, as you know from my previous page, I'm not sure if I made a post about this on this page, but women have a higher percentage of endurance muscle fibers. It's actually type 1 muscle fibers. However, for most studies that I looked at, that doesn't affect how many reps they can do with percentage. It does affect the rest time in between sets. So for instance, women are able to rest less and still, for instance, women are able to recover faster than guys whenever they're doing intensity load of 70% or 75% of their 1 rep max. Guys are able to recover faster when they're going 75% and above of their 1 rep max. Hope this helps. Let me know. Shout out below.